All right, what is going on, guys? UFC Fight Night Burns versus Morales has just ended, and we're going to be going over my post-fight reactions for some of the fights on the card. I didn't watch all the fights. I'm not going to watch all the fights. I even went back and rewatched the fights. I didn't watch them live. Starting off with the first fight that I cared to go back and rewatch. That was Jared Gordon versus Thiago Moises. Jared Gordon gets the first round KO over Thiago Moises. I got this fight wrong. I think I went like 7-11 on this. Well, no, I went 8-11 because I forgot to switch one of my picks. I switched to Pennington, or originally I picked, what's her name? Nero. I switched it when I was making my video live, but I forgot to go back on Tapology. So I did decent as far as at least picking the correct winner, maybe not the method. I picked Moises to win via decision. I thought he'd be able to use the grappling against Jared Gordon. Wasn't able to do that in this fight. In fact, he got taken down very shortly into the fight by Jared Gordon. Was controlled, able to get back up on his feet. Was able to cut Jared Gordon with an elbow off the bottom. But once he got back up to the feet, they kind of traded leg kicks a little bit. And then Jared Gordon hit him with a right hand, dropped him. And he picked his shots very well. Was very accurate with his ground and pound shots. And puts Thiago Moises out cold. Claims to be on a 6-fight winning streak. You know, I get it. The Paddy Pimblett fight, he really should have won that fight. The Nasrat Haqparast fight, very close competitive fight. I did score that fight for Nasrat Haqparast. And in the Bobby Green fight, he was winning that fight up until the head clash. So, you know, do I feel bad for Jared Gordon? Yes. Feel bad for the position he's in. He's calls for a top 15 opponent. He doesn't get it. In my opinion, he doesn't deserve it. I think give him a few more wins. You know, he's kind of been done dirty a little bit. So give him like 2 to 3 fight win streak. Then maybe we can talk about ranked opposition. He is older. He's 36 years old. So if he really wants to make a run at the rankings and try to get up the rankings, he needs to do it now. And I mean, he's got to stop leaving it to the judges, which in this one he did. He did leave it to the judges. And how much longer? Like, I think Thiago Moises is not a bum. But how much longer are we going to say, oh, Thiago Moises, that's a decent win? Because he just keeps getting beaten. Like, I can't, is he on, how big a losing streak is he on right now? Could he get cut from the UFC? I don't know. But good win from Jared Gordon. Good performance by Jared Gordon. Very well-rounded in this fight. And we'll see who I come up with in next. I'm still going to make a fights to make video after this. Moving up the card. We got Julian Erosa versus Melquizael Costa. So, this was a very fun fight. I believe this got fight of the night. I'm pulling up the scorecards is what I'm doing. Because if I remember correctly, there were somewhat controversial scorecards. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. So, yes. 2 of the judges gave the first and second round to Melquizael Costa, and 1 judge gave the first and third round to Costa, and the second round to Erosa. Personally, I think you could score every round for Costa. I think if you're going to score a round for Erosa, I wouldn't have scored the second round. It would probably be the third round if I was going to. Like, the third round was pretty competitive, and I could see why. I think it was control time mostly, why you could have scored the third round for Erosa. But I thought the first and second round were very clear for Costa. First round, he hurt Erosa multiple times, stunned him multiple times. Didn't really get super aggressive to try and find a finish. Didn't want to gas himself out. Showed good fight IQ most of the fight. Didn't want to just rush in there and risk getting knocked out or finish himself, because even though Erosa was getting hurt and getting rocked, he was still in there. You could tell he was still being smart about it. I'm trying to think. Yeah. But yeah, easily first and second round, and possibly even the third for Costa, in my opinion at least. Good fight. Man, I'm trying to decide, like bantamweight, featherweight, and lightweight are so stacked, and he's on a 5-fight win streak right now, I believe. Borderline deserves to fight somebody in the top 15. I think it's going to be really hard to find an opponent for him in the top 15. I'm going to have to look, see who's kind of at the bottom of the top 15. If not, give him somebody just outside the rankings at featherweight, because I definitely think he deserves it. Moving up the card, we have Dustin Stoltzfus versus Nursulton Ruziboev. This was actually a decent fight. Let me pull up the scorecards real quick, because I think this one was also somewhat controversial. So one judge, which, I kind of agree with the judge, 30-27 for Ruziboev. And then the other two judges had it 29-28 for Nursulton Ruziboev, giving him the second and third round. I think there's an argument to be made to give Ruziboev the first round. I know they kind of both hurt each other in that first round, but I thought Ruziboev had the better of the strikes, more powerful, more effective strikes in that first round. So I scored the first round for Nursulton Ruziboev. Second round, Stoltzfus was winning the round. He had Ruziboev down for a lot of the round. And then I think Ruziboev got into a guillotine and then reverse position. He used that to get into mount. It was mount or half guard, I can't remember. I think it was half guard. And did just slamming elbows, good ground and pound. That won in the round. Because Stoltzfus, he was going for some submissions, but it wasn't anything like super close, super locked in. So when Ruziboev was able to reverse position, I think he had like 1:30 left. And was doing the good ground and pound shots to really steal the run back from Dustin. And the third round, kind of similar. Dustin was using the grappling a little bit in the third round. Ruziboev was, like the first, that was towards the end of the round. The beginning of the round, Ruziboev was really controlling the action on the feet. And then when Stoltzfus was able to get him down, didn't do a whole lot with it. So I think before that, Ruziboev was able to really cement the round for him with the damage he did on the feet. And I think maybe he got up with like 20-30 seconds left, maybe. But at that point, I think, again, with the Stoltzfus not really doing anything with the takedown, Ruziboev clearly won the third round as well. So I scored at 30-27 for Nursulton Ruziboev. I see some people online saying that it was a robbery. I've seen a couple people saying that. I don't think it was a robbery. I think it was a clear win for Ruziboev. Was it a very close competitive fight? Yes. I thought Ruziboev was going to go out there and KO Stoltzfus in the first round. He didn't do that. So I think this kind of lowers how good I thought Nursulton Ruziboev was. Because if you're, going to be something in the middleweight division or even the welterweight division, which he's fought in both somehow, you knock out Dustin Stoltzfus. We'll leave it at that. Moving up the card, another fight. I got it wrong. Co-main event did get canceled. I will say that. That sucks, I guess. We have Sodiq Yusuff versus Mairon Santos. My original prediction was going for Sodiq Yusuff as an underdog pick. See, two judges gave it 30-27 for Santos, and one judge 29-28 for Santos. I agree with the one judge. I actually gave Yusuff the first round. I thought he landed. It was a very close round. Don't get me wrong. Could I go back and count each individual strike? Yes, I could. But just off of my first watch, I thought it was a clear Yusuff round. It was very close, but I thought he landed the better, more powerful, impactful shots. Not a lot happened in this fight, or in that round. Very, very technical round. Very limited as far as what both of the guys did. Second and third round, unarguable for Santos. Hurts Yusuff in both rounds. Cuts him with a kick in the second round. I think it was a kick. Really not much else to say. Like, very clear, dominant. Second and third round for Mairon Santos. This was at lightweight, so I'd be curious to figure out if he's going to go back down to featherweight or if he's going to stay at lightweight. I know Yusuff had mentioned he will not be staying at lightweight. This was just a one-time thing, and he's planning on moving back down to featherweight for his next fight. Maybe he can get back on the winning track after this loss. And for Santos, he needs to kind of figure out what he wants to do. If he wants to stay at lightweight or go back down to featherweight, I think he should probably go back down to featherweight, but that's just my thought on the matter. Really not much to take away from this fight. Again, I thought it was Yusuff first round, and Santos clearly won the second and third round. But what do you know? What does it matter? Moving on, main event. Well, I got we have Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. Michael Morales gets the first round KO over Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is done. He's washed up. He doesn't have that dog in him anymore. He was one of my favorite fighters. I still like Gilbert Burns. But unfortunately, I think they probably should just take Gilbert Burns out of the rankings. I don't think he's going to get cut. I know he's on a bit of a skid right now. I think this is the third fight he's lost in a row. Let's see, he lost to JDM, Brady, and then Morales. I think it was in that order. But he didn't have anything for Michael Morales. He did not have anything. You know, as far as on the feet, you know, he landed like 2 decent leg kicks, maybe 2. Maybe it must have just been the one. And then he would just lunge in with a left hook or an overhand. That's really all he had. Morales was hitting him with some jabs, hitting him with some good shots. Most of those significant strikes were probably in the finishing sequence. Burns he got a takedown momentarily, but Morales was able to pop right back up. So it's not like he could cement the position. I mean, I don't even know. Okay, that did accredit him the takedown. But other than that, like, it was a very... I'm saying this with the utmost respect as I can, but the shots that Burns was getting hit with seemed very light. Like, it did not seem... Like, if you had to take Gilbert Burns from like 3-4 years ago, I think it would have been a completely different fight. It almost looked like he just quit. He got stung a couple of times and just curled up in a ball and quit. I don't want him to be like going out like Anthony Smith. I don't want him to keep fighting. You know, he's definitely past his prime. He's 38 years old. If he continues to fight, which I think at this point he probably shouldn't continue to fight anymore. They just need to give him fun fights. Fun, take him out of the rankings. I think he was number 8, so he's probably going to drop down to like 12 or 13, or they could just take him out and throw somebody else that's unranked into the rankings. But he had absolutely nothing to offer in this fight. And Michael Morales, again, we have a lot of contenders at welterweight now, and it's kind of going to be semi-log jammed due to Islam moving up from lightweight. So I'm going to find a cool matchup for Michael Morales. We need to get some of these contenders kind of knocking each other off, because there's definitely a bunch of them. You have Buckley and Usman, which I'm picking Buckley in that fight. Usman's old. He's kind of in the same boat that Gilbert Burns is, on a skid right now. You have Gary. You have Shavkat, who earned his title shot. You have Michael Morales. You had Carlos Prates, but he did lose to Gary recently. So there's 4 people right there. You know, maybe you could have them all fight each other. You got Brady. Just beat Leon Edwards very dominantly. So a lot going on in the welterweight division. A lot of movement, especially at the top. Kind of all the young is replacing the old in the welterweight division right now. We're kind of seeing a changing of the guard. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that. What do you guys think of the main event? What do you think is next for Gilbert Burns? Should he retire? Should he keep fighting? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure to subscribe. I want to thank you guys for 76 subscribers. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. If you could, subscribe, drop a like on the video, share the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.